to the best family on YouTube. Good morning. Today is a little vlog for today. As you guys are seeing this, it is currently 3:14 in the morning, which means I've been up almost 24 hours straight. Yay. It's okay though, because you know what? I had a lot of editing to do anyway. I had a ton to do. I had a ton to do today. So I was busy all day anyway. I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a little quote that I've lived by my whole entire life. It's nice to be important, but it is important to be nice. I grew up with that quote. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. I grew up with that quote. From when I was like 15 is when I heard that quote, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run with it. And it's honestly true, you know. It's nice to be important, you know. Being a YouTuber like I am, you get noticed out in the streets. You understand people's stories. You understand where people are that watch your videos. It's insane. Sometimes it's the craziest thing ever happened to someone else. But the one thing that pops in my head whenever I hear people going, "Oh my gosh, you're Beholder 881," like I watch you. The thing that pops in my head is like, I appreciate it. You know, that's the one thing that pops in my head. And I've always known if it's my full name, it's gonna be some lame question. It's gonna be something lame. But when it's come to my YouTube, you know, I'm always called Beholder. Like, Beholders, especially with people who know me from that area, just like, that's how you get me to sit down. That's how you get me to sit down and talk to you for hours, is call me by Beholder 881. And I know it's not going to be anything lame. It's not. I know that. Because everyone who came up to me, it just went Beholder 881. I literally sat down and say, you know what? We're having a conversation. Any questions, I'll ask. I'll answer them. But the one thing that pops in my head with that quote, it's nice to be important, but important to be nice. It's true. A lot of people, especially nowadays, where people are playing games, I mean, it's okay, you know. People play games so well. But I've noticed things in my life that have been different. You know, like having someone back then, you know, if a woman played games with me, I would just up and leave. You know, and having so many girlfriends as I did, so many, it's unbelievable on how many girlfriends I've had. But that sets you up for, it sets you up for failure. It really does. What it does to you in your head, what it realistically does, is there's two things that happen. One, you're not really going to be capable of being married. Because when things get hard, you tend to leave. It happened to me so many times. I tended to leave when things got rough. And then when it was my longest relationship that I've had with her, it was a year. I don't know how long it was, but it was over a year. Okay. Over a year. And I tended to show my true self to her you know, things that you should do in a month, right? But yeah, I mean, people play games all the freaking time. All the time. But this woman cheated on me with 5 of the men. 5 men that she cheated on me, and you know what? It's life. I was willing to deal with the sacrifices I was dealing with a lot at that time. I basically was like, you know what? If this is how you're going to treat me, then why am I even here? And that wears you down pretty quick. I began to become something I wasn't very, very quickly. Someone who loved everyone very, very quickly, very trusting, very honoring person, to not the nicest person for many years after. What I was dealing with was a broken heart. That was my first real girlfriend that I've ever had. And she cheated on me for for what? For more money? For something that I didn't have? Yeah. But what I had was more mentality than she did. That's the real thing. I had a mental state that not many people knew about. I mean, I was like 14. So, stuff tends to happen. I mean, you gotta live through it. I mean, they're all trial runs anyway, right? You only get so many before you're like, you know what, I seen that coming. But you know what, it is what it is. Everyone has their ups and downs. Everyone has them. But that's why I live by that quote. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. That's a quote that I've lived my entire life with. It doesn't, as long as you're right there next to someone, being nice, being the shoulder that they can cry on, being there for someone, that's the best thing that you can do. As well as quick to listen and slow to talk. It is the best way to talk to people. Because if you can listen to anything, what it does to your mind slowly is it sets you up for marriage. That's what it does. I'm not any marriage counseling, but I've watched many, 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 many people in their marriages, and I've and I asked many, many people, and I did my own research on this because I was curious to something to talk about this week. So this is a week's worth of progress and research and people I've talked to, and I've asked a specific question. How do you know you've met your soulmate? How do you know it? Almost every one of them says there's just a certain connection that you'll get. There's a certain connection. It's unbelievable. It's unexplainable, blah, 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 right? I was like, okay, yeah, I get the whole unexplainable. I get it's like a fairy tale kind of, right? And they're like, yeah, basically it's a fairy tale. It feels that way. And I was like, okay, interesting. And they're like, why is it interesting? I was like, because my research says a bunch of different things. You can communicate about just about anything. Okay, that's basic stuff. 2, you can, talk about something that they're not going to get angry with or get mad at. Okay, it's normal stuff. 3, you could be their best friend. Okay, and what it comes down to is the research that I've done out of everything is a lot of the things that I've dealt with over the years. A lot of it is I've never been like someone hasn't cared for me as the same way as I've been putting in. So if I put in so much energy in, they don't put the same energy out. So it's a one-way, it's a one-way conversation at that point. It's a one-way street. Have I dealt with that over the years? Yeah. Have I ever done it with, has everyone done it to me? Absolutely. Almost every relationship, like only like a handful that I can remember. There's only been a handful that I've been in that was like, you know what, I'm gonna put the same energy out, maybe even more. You don't get that very often. You really don't. It's kind of amusing on how this month, not only having a birthday this month, but having seen things over the month that I've recognized, that I've seen. Hitting 1,000 subscribers on the main channel, hitting that is just way insane. Way insane. It's kind of incredible to see where I was 2 years ago and where I'm at today. And a lot of people are like, you know what, that takes dedication. There's a joke in my little circle. No, what you're doing is it's an obsession. And I was like, you know what? Like I was telling a lot of people before, yes, I'm building an empire where my future kids, where my future grandkids, my future family can take over and go, you know what? This is exactly what I want. To take on his legacy, to take on this channel, to go, you know what? He made all of this content, and guess what? It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going and going and going. That's what I want. So when you're building an empire for someone else, that's an obsession. Yes, I will agree. But there's a lot that comes into that, and there's a lot that comes out. Your mindset becomes bigger. So your mindset becomes bigger, right? That's not a big thing. But what you do, on the other hand of that, is movies get ruined. You start analyzing every freaking movie from the beginning to the end, and you notice every single cut. You notice every single transition. You know, every little filter that they use. You know, every little sound. It doesn't work. Being a YouTuber, movies are ruined. Even some games that I play are ruined. But you know what? A lot of this stuff that I've been taught over the years, this is all self-taught. Being a YouTuber, there's no class to take to be a YouTuber. There's none. I mean, there's some classes that you just have to go to college for. I didn't. Video editing wasn't an option. It wasn't an option to make a movie. So I learned a lot of this stuff on my own. A lot of it. Why? Why not? This is something that I enjoy. Content creating is something that I enjoy doing. And it just showed on my cards that I do. I spent over 120 hours this week. Do I even look at that way? No. Do I look at it and like, put 120 hours in now? Or do I go, it's like, oh, I put 120 in. Oh, well. I could have cut that down maybe to 60 hours, but the videos that I do aren't going to get that done, so I like to be a week ahead. At least a week ahead. But I've been falling back on that, but this is exactly what comes on behind the scenes on a lot of videos. Is there's the processing, there's the titles, there's the thumbnails, there's a ton of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't show. because most of it's boring. Yeah, a lot of it is boring, but I'm gonna wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. I do vlogs every single day at 11 a.m. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I am Beholder881, and I'll see you guys Monday for the next content, whatever it is. By that time, the main channel, I don't want to guess because it's going to be a while. It's going to be up there. But I will see you guys in the next one, no matter what you're doing. Just keep being positive. Keep moving forward. Because there's enough negative in the world. We don't need more as it is. If my story, you gathered something from it, you could take the quote. It's nice to be important, but important thing is to be nice. That's the quote for the week. And I've ran with that my entire life. It built me to where I am now. Exactly that, it's built me. I'll say it again at the intro, at the outro. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice.